to our committees. Next, that will be H2 committee appointment. Is there a person here? No, that's not. Is somebody here waiting to speak on something?
Well, we've got folks here from the time certain at 11:15.
That was nice.
Mr. Chairman, item H2 is the annual appointments to a plethora of committees that you all serve on annually.
Let's do that.
And they're listed, you'll notice on the second page, last year's appointments and individuals that were appointed. Page 2, but it actually says page 1 at the bottom of it.
I don't know what I did.
I don't.
Oh, it's probably.
Okay, there are two documents together. One is, I believe the first one is just the titles of the committees, and the second one, in back of it, you have three.
My second page has the names of the incumbents. Let me, I'll put it up here.
I don't think.
There it is. I got it. Thank you, Aaron. I've got too many papers. Way too many papers. It's in your I was looking for it under the agenda. It's not in the agenda. There's the one on the agenda, then the one in the packet. All right, how do you guys want to do this? Start off.
Top to bottom. Starting with number 1.
And I put on the screen the
You got number 3.
position.
Lassen County Soil Area.
I have to just report Violet's, now she had a nasty fall up here a bit ago, and she's still recuperating from that. We'll go to the doctor, and she's having a hard time getting around. It's kind of been a struggle. And her birthday's coming up on Friday, so she's convinced she's home. And I know she's feeling okay because she's still cranky as all get out. She's French.
If she thinks she's being low, she needs something to do to keep her occupied. We'll put her back here.
I would say we should keep it.
Okay, we're going to try to move fairly fast. That Violet will stay there, John, Neva, RCD, Allball, and Hammond. We okay with that? Has everybody got the papers out?
Yeah, okay, sure.
So it's number 2, Allball, and Hammond as alternate. State Association of the Counties, CSAC, that would be Mr. Chapman, and Allball as alternate. If you guys want to change, speak up. CSAC, Insurance Authority, Tax Collector Richard Egan.
What changes? Subsequent to this, we have appointed Under Sheriff John Minot to be the alternate with me as the primary.
So the CAO.
Yes.
I'm sure. Okay.
We don't need the treasurer tax collector.
That just happened to be the job he was holding at that time.
Right.
Okay, well, I thought maybe that had to be there.
No,
So
right.
not call Supervisor Wazik, we can't do that no more.
Yeah, it was me and Watsy, you were the alternate, so we need to pick a new regular member.
Jeff, you want to take that over?
I guess so.
We'll put Mr. Hemphill in place of Mr. Wazik, so if you took Mr. Wazik's place. Land Conservation Committee, I stay on that.
Bunch isn't the assessor anymore, so that would be updated with,
Kim Munchie to be updated.
Schleter.
and
Everybody else is okay. 7, Northern Rural Training and Employment.
Nortec, yeah, and me, and Tom's been the alternate.
8, Planning and Service Area, CSA.
I was gonna, Tom hasn't been able to be a part of that, and I was gonna see if maybe Jeff would like to maybe be the alternate. I don't know how Tom feels about that.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll get you.
Since his mom is kind of like one of the honchos of the seniors, she'll make sure he shows up.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sorry, Jim.
Okay, RCRC, Aaron Chapman.
Yeah, that's for the RC board, but there was an issue on number 11, there's 3 sub-RC JPAs, and they were dogging me about being the alternate on the joint powers, the environmental service joint powers, and I've never been doing that. I did communicate with that lady, but subsequent to that, Tom Valentino was actually appointed, I think it was in like August or September, and so you should make him be the, I think that was just an error in posting on here, a confusion. I can't blame Susan because she's moving cheap and blame the rest of us for not knowing what Susan's.
Okay, so this is on number 11?
Number 11.
Okay.
But I think all the rest of those RCJP, you got Aaron and Egan on one.
Okay, so that was 10 is Supervisor Alvaro Medina.
Yeah.
11 is going to be Tom Valentino,
Yeah, instead of me being listed.
and also Mr. Alvaro.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the
Okay,
main one,
gotcha.
and the alternate would be Tom Valentino.
Okay, so we're down to 13.
12, yeah, so is that number 12 going to be Nancy? Or you?
13, Small
No,
County Advisory
I'm
Committee.
still on 12.
You are?
You as CAO, or?
Yeah, I think it was, had to
Okay.
do more with Richard than doing
That's
that
fine.
and that treasurer thing.
Okay, now 13.
Now 13. Small County Advisory Committee.
That was Melody Brawley's,
Okay, Director of Health and Human Services and Supervisor Hammond's office. We'll leave that like it is. Trinidad Insurance.
That should be the same as CSAC EIA.
Okay.
So it should be me and Manette.
Do you like your
So are you
agency?
gonna combine those two, Richard, or they need to be combined or separate?
Well, I'm sorry.
they're two separate things.
Two separate JPAs, but they should be the same people because they interact.
Do you like your agency? I'll stay with that. I'll buy it, alternate. Airport and keep the views, Hammond and file. That'll stay on it, John. Doyle Parks Committee. That's a good, John.
Yep.
Lassen, Plymouth, Sierra Community Action Agency.
Yeah, you need to scratch Judy Oliver and Rose Leach and resign. Those positions are vacant right now. I know they're trying to find replacements for those.
Okay, 19, Lassen Regional Solid Waste Management Authority, Mr. Hammond, that all in myself. I don't know, you want to keep it like that?
Sure.
Okay, Law Library Board Trustee,
That lawsuit should be you because that's the chair. That is not very easy. That would be Bob Burns, who's county council.
Jamie, Hoffman Zandy.
They actually met quite frequently last year.
Yeah, always on Tuesdays, again.
And you don't keep the judge waiting.
Oh, I'm not saying a thing about judges.
Okay, Long Valley Groundwater Management District, Kyle Hammond.
That's fine.
Behavior Health Advisory Board,
Yeah, that's myself and Tom. I think for the rest of those names, I think there's been a number of changes, and you should probably, Melody should give you an update. They met last night, I was able to see the meeting.
I'll
I
check.
know on our agenda today, they have Sandy Beckwith filling. I think we were down to about 4 people. I know Carolyn,
Okay.
Lynn, and Dave Sherman are still there, but I think the others may not be.
Okay, we'll check on that.
Okay.
23, Transportation Commission, Supervisor Chapman, Albaugh, Wazik will have to be replaced. Jeff. And Kyle and Hammond is alternate. Lassen Transit Service, that would be the same.
Okay.
25, Treasury Oversight Committee,
The chairman is by resolution.
Chairman by resolution, so I got it.
And also the superintendent of schools
Correct.
will be changed.
Student Veterans Memorial Task, Building Task Force.
And that should have supposed to, Pete's supposed to give you that.
I just got the change.
Is that the changes there?
I believe so.
Highlighted.
Yeah, it should be kind of in bold a little bit.
Okay, I see.
And some of mine's different.
Lassen County Children and Families Commission, Mr. Chapman is on there as regular and I'm as alternate.
That means if somebody else wants to do it, that's fine with me too.
Jeff, you want to be alternate?
Yeah, I guess so.
Then you can find a lawyer. It's kind of,
It's got a lot of involvement.
yeah, it is. It's hard to get into it. It takes a while to figure it out. Okay, Lassen Modoc Flood Control and Water Conservation District. All good. Lassen County Air Pollution Control Governing Board.
Jeff is on that.
Anybody all, yeah, we have to say Walker, Jeff. Building Appeals Board. Court, How you doing there?
That's good.
Give it how it is?
Yeah.
It says vacancy. PhD vacancy, what's that about?
Just the vacancy.
Fill that one if it's a PhD position.
Well, it has PhD goes with the name in front of it.
Okay, we're good there then. Historic Building Review Committee,
That's the same.
leave it alone.
Sure.
Abandoned Vehicle Hearing Board, leave it how it is.
Yep.
Abandoned Vehicle Abatement Service Authority. I don't think they do anything. Northern Cal Emergency Medical Services. North INS. I'll stay on unless you guys want to throw me off.
But,
You sure you don't want to throw me off? You want to put Jeff on as alternate?
yes.
Lassen County Natural Resource Conservation, Resource Coordination Council.
That one's, should be
Jeff,
Larry
yeah.
replaced.
Jeff again, replace Larry. If somebody wants on this, I'd give it up.
And 36 was a new one that we had last year, but it never met, and I would say we get rid of it altogether, because Richard's doing a totally different.
Yeah.
And back up to number 33, that was one that we haven't as been functioning, and I know we talked about it last year, but I think we need to be looking at abolishing that, because it was something the city set up, and we run it, and it went for about a year, and it,
Oh, yeah, I should have, we should scrap.
yeah, the scrap metal price was going up,
Right.
and all the abandoned vehicles got taken care of by the private sector, and in the meantime, they collected a bunch of fees off the PNG thing, and nothing ever happened with it, so I think we need to, dissolve that or do whatever.
I agree.
On the list and do something like that.
It's on the list of future items.
Okay, 37, Indian Gaming Local Community Benefit Committee. Just leave it alone. 36. Lake Valley Recreation Authority, leave that alone.
Well, I think what happened on there.
No, Tom, I think Tom was going.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right, no, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I got that.
You guys are in five.
I got that.
No, I already told him you were gonna be the
Yeah,
guy.
I'll do that.
Okay, and one, Susan, I don't
But
see.
can I make a suggestion, Joey? This might be a good, it doesn't provide for it in the APA, but I don't think there's no reason why we couldn't provide for it. We actually have like an alternate, because
Yes.
there's been a few times when
Yes.
Larry and I could be there, and maybe Jeff could be,
But just as alternate.
that would be a good
I don't see
idea.
any reason why not.
Okay, and the one I don't see is Emergency Medical Care Committee, which has it on there.
I don't know that it's been on here before, but if you want to put it on.
What's the committee we serve on?
We just talked about it.
I know, but you're all talking about different numbers up here, so what, 38, what was,
Okay,
No,
are you taking Wasik's place?
yes.
Yes, and Mr. Heffel is an alternate.
I've been reading the titles of them, I understand you people don't have a copy of them. If there's anything I missed, you don't understand, raise your hand again. I'm looking down at this and I'm not
Let's not
watching.
invite that if we can.
Are you serious?
The only approved method is raising your hand. Sorry.
I think, Mr. Chairman, you're asking whether the Emergency Medical Care Committee should be identified and listed as, I thought they were under, but they're not.
I think it should be. I'm not sure why they're not.
We can,
So, are you the only supervisor on this file?
Who's on there is me, he's the supervisor. I'm the only supervisor, and then the county CAO is the chairman. But that doesn't, it's a long list of names.
Is Eric on it?
It's on, it's in the back of our,
yeah,
where did I see that?
may have been in the board packet, and board materials here in the committee meeting.
Well, whoever the current members that are constituted, identify them on here so that
Okay.
people know who they are.
Okay, and
And that's a good way to do it.
okay, and Mr. Vio is going to stay on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
Maybe the change we should make too is we list it on here and we put Jeff on as the alternate since he's the alternate for the NorCal EMS one, so it'll be the same two board
Here it
members.
is, too. That's the committee, that's the old contract, that's the old RFP,
For 2004.
2004.
Two.
That'll tell you,
Okay, perfect.
the people will be different.
Right, but I think, do you want to go with just the positions and then
Yeah.
Supervisor Kyle and Mr. Hempel?
Yeah, and maybe you could have Jeff be the alternate on there for that one.
Yeah, he could be alternate and try to come to some of the meetings, and something that's good if the alternate can attend some of them.
No, we got 2 years to do that because there's been, in 2 years, we're doing it, you and I would be gone.
Still breathing, so it's not clear. Yeah, clarify that, Jim.
All right.
I got a lot of plans for the next 20 years.
Me too.
Okay, I think we got that, and I'm assuming now we need a motion to verify that.
I would move that we ratify the list as changed.
You have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All I can say is welcome, Jeff. Now that, this is, this is,
7:15, F1, we have a board still.
I would move, Mr. Chairman, that we fill one of the vacancies on the legal health advisory board to return to the Senate
Okay, we have a second to that.
I'll second that.
All in favor, any discussion? Any, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, information consent calendar, anything to come off on that?
Susan?
Mrs. Lancy, what would you like
How
off?
much?
G3,
Steve,
G, George.
G3. Anything on, anybody else have anything they want off? Separate items? Okay, we have a motion to, on all the rest other than G2.
I'll make that motion.
Second? Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. So we'll take out G3, move to November 12th and December 9th and December 16th. Mrs. Spence? Speaking now. Mrs. Spencer, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
said Mrs. Spence, but I should have said
Well,
Mrs.
it's usually
Spencer.
Arlene, so with you, I just answer anything, Marty. It doesn't matter.
Anything?
Just get it on record.
Just sure that I'll get it right.
No, you don't have to get it right. Just get it on record.
Go ahead.
First, I noticed in the December 9th meeting minutes, on page 4, the agenda included approving minutes of November 12th, and now you're approving them again, or what happened there?
So I want to make sure I understand the question, if you don't mind. On the proposed minutes for December 9, on page 4, which includes,
Approval of minutes, November 12th.
no, we're being considered approved. Now, I don't think that's what the proposed minutes from December 9 contemplate. What the proposed minutes from December 9 contemplates is whether, in fact, on December 9, this document correctly reflects what happened as it relates to approving, on that date, December 9, approving the minutes from the month before, November 12th.
You're wrong, but that's okay. I'm just bringing it to the attention of the board. And also, on December 16th minutes, the first page, the closed session was held at 9:03 to 9:48 a.m. It's the second to the last paragraph. You acknowledge that Julie Morgan, who you identify as assistant to the CAO, is present. And then I'm assuming, watching the video, as soon as I left the meeting on that day, Mr. CAO announced that he had hired Tony Shaw as the assistant to the CAO. That's on page 8.
So
Is
I'm
that
sorry,
a clerical
I'm not
error?
following. Where
That
are you?
should be clarified.
On
Assistant
page
to the
8,
CIO, or assistant CIO.
you replaced,
Okay, what
page
page?
December 16th.
December
Oh,
16th.
okay. Okay, page 8. And,
You replaced Julie. Julie is no longer employed here.
Julie Morgan?
okay,
Sorry,
So
this
is it
morning.
typo? Do you know what I'm talking about, Richard?
Yeah,
okay.
you announced Tony
I
Shaw
didn't
and
He is the assistant.
As taking
Tom's
title.
I haven't reviewed the tape. If I said assistant, I misspoke.
And
Tony
that
Shaw's
should be
hired as deputy.
Deputy, okay, we can change that.
that should be deputy.
I think the confusion may be that Julie is the assistant to the CAO, and then there's a deputy CAO, which is a assistant CAO.
Okay.
And they're
So it
both
needs-
You are assistant.
It needs to be corrected because on the first page, you refer to her as the assistant to the CAO.
Okay.
And then on page 8, you refer to Tony Shaw as being hired as the assistant to
That
the
needs to be
CAO.
corrected.
That just needs to be corrected.
Well, it shouldn't be deputy CAO, it's rather assistant to or that, it's
Okay,
deputy
oh, I see where
CAO.
that
Well, I walked out in the meeting and this was announced, so I wasn't sure who Tony Shaw was.
There is a job description called assistant to the CAO, but there's also a job description of deputy CAO.
So-
that deputy to the
So I
CAO.
understand the difference because he asked for money for a deputy and you gave it to him. So I just thought that the announcement could have been made maybe as a regular agenda item also, rather than slipping it in as the last comment of that meeting. So if you could just correct
I
that,
think on page 8, I think it should be corrected.
We'll
Yeah,
change
you
it.
see
just correct the minutes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
My question was on the same as December the 16th, on page 3.
Page 3? Yes, sir.
Top up there with the appointment of Sean Beasley. I should have been a no vote on that.
That's right. you did vote.
Okay, we'll make that change.
You were absent, well,
You guys threw me out in call.
threw you out.
I told you to stay up here.
Okay, any more changes?
Those changes I would move.
Do a second. Do a
Second.
second.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it.
And
Okay.
Mr. Hempel is not voting. Right.
Abstain for this.
I have questions. I've never done the research, but about the,
It's up to you.
yeah, no, I need to get an answer to that conclusion. About whether you are barred from voting on minutes for a meeting that you weren't in attendance for.
I can get you that if you like
I
today.
appreciate that.
I will
Thank you
give you
very
that.
much.
Okay, let's go to our time certain, 11:15, public hearing, county council.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we're back on Southern Cascades.
This is a public hearing, right?
It is.
So I'll open the public meeting at 11:24 and ask for the staff report.
Thank you. Let me get to wherever that went. There we go. All right. So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as you all are well aware, citizens in the Big Valley area are interested in finding some way to reintroduce ambulance service to their community. This is no surprise. This has been addressed on a couple of occasions at least. And after last June's narrow defeat, the effort is again underway to have an issue resolved to form a new special district and the creation of a special tax within that district for, again, the creation of an ambulance service really through the formation of a community service district in the northern Lassen and southern Modoc County areas. We have a number of individuals with us present here today that are part of the Big Valley Working Group, if you will. Folks that we've had close contact with. I know I've exchanged more emails with Clinton Davis over the last month than...
He's my new BFF.
And so what you have before you is a resolution which essentially starts the process, a resolution of application, if you will, which starts the process for LAFCO initiating proceedings to form a new district. And in order for LAFCO to initiate those proceedings, we must adopt this resolution. There is attached a proposed map defining the boundaries of that district, attached and incorporated by reference into the resolution. There is also a scope of services attached and incorporated by reference into the proposed resolution, and as well as another exhibit defining in spoken word rather than in pictographic form the geographic description of the boundaries of the proposed district. And so this is the first step that would need to occur in the process in order to call an election essentially in the formation of a special district. The next step that would need to occur would be a meeting of LAFCO essentially to study the issue, which I think the lion's share of that work has been concluded already. In fact, I believe that there is a special meeting already noticed for January 26th, and that all presumes adoption of this resolution, passage of this resolution here today. And after that, set for the very next day, we expect that we'll be presenting to you, assuming adoption of this resolution, assuming adoption by LAFCO of their proposed resolutions related to formation of the district as well, that we'll be back here the very next day on the 27th to call a mail ballot only election within the boundaries of the district for May 5 of this year. And that is the date that the proponents have desired, the earliest possible opportunity to get out to the voters. I think there's going to be a concerted effort on the part of the proponents to overcome that kind of narrow defeat, and so I'm happy to answer any questions that board members have, and I think that fairly outlines the procedure that we're going to be looking at over the next 3 weeks or so.
Any questions, staff report by the board?
I'll maybe now I'm trying to put it in, you know, the $65 in the parcel tax, that was part of it last time. Is there a kill clause in here? Is that coming now? And then, of course, also setting up for the first board of directors for the new CSD board pass. Is that come in now or later, or?
Well, okay, let's take one at a time. Kill clause. Well, number one is your attorney, I'm not going to recommend the formation of a district that doesn't have financial resources to support itself, because the cost of supporting that district would ultimately come back to this entity. But nevertheless, I think